tonight, even without Angie. And you know she's the
Okay,
one.
so as we get started, I'm going to give the time over to David Brown, who is our CEO at Actives. He has a wealth of knowledge in the supplement nutritionist area, supplements, vitamins, you name it, food. He's been there, done that for a lot of companies outside of network marketing as well as inside of network marketing. But he also is a lawyer by trade. So if that gives you any indication of what kind of person he is, if you want to quit now, I do not blame you. But if you stay and listen to his presentation today, I can guarantee you would want to stay. So with that introduction, David, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, dude, thanks, I think. I'm not sure about that, but I am a recovering lawyer. Our products help me get through one day at a time. It's not an easy burden that I wasn't muted. Now I'm muted. Now I'm not muted, I guess. Okay. I said some really good stuff, and what I said, the click to 30 seconds would be made automatically A16, but nobody did it. I couldn't understand why. But you know, you gotta, you snooze, you lose. So I guess that's how it goes. But anyway, that makes you think like a lawyer, that a lawyer really is running this place, right? That's a sleazy thing a lawyer would do. But hey, I'm a recovering lawyer. The products help me get through one day at a time. And as I like to tell people, our products really do work. They have some side effects. I used to be 6'4" with a full head of hair. But as I've told Diane before, I'm 105 years old. And so, there's some good things about it and some not so good things about it. But anyway, we're glad to have you tonight. We're going to kind of take a walk through some things that some of you know and some of you have heard me talk about before. We're going to introduce a few new things, but generally it's for the newcomers and not so newcomers to get to know a little bit more about Actives, who we are, what our goals are, where we think we're going, and what we've accomplished so far. I apologize for the lighting. I'm in our office, and I moved my office, and I'm now kind of in the front foyer of the office, and the lighting's not the greatest because we're still trying to get things situated in our office here in Salt Lake City. So if the shadows come and go, you might say, hey, you look better that way. The more shadows, the better. That I wouldn't probably argue with that comment. But let's get started. We'll talk about who we are. I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. And we'll go ahead. Some of you have seen some of these slides before. But at the end of the day, I think it's really important to understand that the word Actives really does describe not only who we are, but what our goal is. We want to activate every aspect of your life that you feel needs to be activated. Sometimes internally, we talk about what our goals are, what kind of the slogan for the company is. And I'm not a marketing guy. I've not been through, marketing training and things like that. But my team knows that all of us, Stu and others, Angie, Ryan, as we've worked together in the past, we know that one of the things that drives us is this phrase, we'll make you better. And what that really means is that people aren't already good to begin with. We think everybody is wonderful and has unlimited potential. So what we mean by that is that if you're in the case of our epigenetic products, which operate upon your genes, if your genes aren't operating like they should and like they're designed to, guess what? Our products are going to make them operate better. If you're not achieving and providing for your family, meeting your financial goals in the way that you'd like to, our business opportunity gives you a better chance. If you feel like you would like to maybe not upgrade is the word, but align yourself with more people who think like you do, who want to change the world, who want to improve their health, who want to take control of not only their physical health and their financial health, but really want to leave a mark on this world. Well, guess what? That's what being activated and being part of actives is all about, making things better. And I can tell you what, the products are wonderful, the compensation plan is wonderful, but if nothing else, the people that you'll come to know through actives, just the association alone, I guarantee you will make it better and make it worth it. And then as you contribute your own talent, your own abilities, your own energy, that just adds to the overall value of what actives is all about. So, to get down to the business side of things, we are in the direct marketing channel. Direct marketing channel is huge, not just in the United States, not just in Mexico, although it's interesting to know that worldwide, the United States is #1 in direct selling, and Mexico is like #5, #6, depending on which studies you look at. Very, very large companies have done very well in both markets. And yet we're not just network marketing, we are omni-channel. We're really setting the bar in a way that other companies haven't in the past. And the reason for that is that although we know that network marketing, multi-level marketing is something that has created huge companies and tremendous amounts of individual wealth for people who have got in and worked hard and taken the work part of network very seriously, that nevertheless, there are people who will not participate in that particular channel. For some good reasons, that network marketing and MLM has a bad reputation. It leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. Largely, I think, because of either bad things they've heard about it or bad experience that they've had in it. And just like every company and every industry out there, there are some good players and there are some not so good players. And the not so good players sometimes foul it for everyone else. Well, guess what? We're a good player. And we started out in Mexico going on 4 years ago. We're going to be having our 4th year anniversary event in Mexico City coming up next month in November. And I'm finally going to be able to see in person again some of the people who are on this call tonight, like Susanna and others that we have been seeing on Zooms, and we just haven't been able to get together for a long time. And it's going to be a great event. So I'm looking forward to it. It's great to talk about a new business opportunity, but it's really important. Timing, of course, is very important. And you hear about that all the time, about the importance of timing. I was just reading about someone who made well over $1 billion by accurately gambling, because at the time that they invested, it was a gamble, in some Silicon Valley companies like Facebook, like Google, like Instagram, all these companies that when they started out, a lot of people, kind of raised their eyebrows and said, what? Amazon. Jeff Bezos is now, nowadays, the founder of Amazon is considered a genius. But you don't have to go back too many years to read in the financial press where the critics and his own investors were saying he was an idiot, that what he was trying to do was never going to work. And I'm not just singing his praises because he's another short, bald-headed guy like I am. I'm saying that he had a vision. He had a vision to accomplish something that other people just didn't get. And he was okay with that. He didn't really care if they got it or not. And so Amazon went from being a company that everyone said, really, they're just going to try and take on the brick and mortar bookstores. Well, that's kind of how they started out, right? Just like Netflix. People said, oh, Netflix, they'll never take on Blockbuster. Blockbuster is this huge company, and this little company is trying to send out DVDs through mail. That's a dumb idea. Nobody's ever going to do it. But just like Amazon's first step was selling books, Netflix's first step was distributing DVDs and simply proving to people that these first baby steps that they were taking were really going to work. And then the big play was going to happen. And that's the same thing for us. We're doing some things that other people haven't done before. And we're proving by virtue of the success that we've had in the companies, or I'm sorry, in the countries that we're at, that our baby steps are working. And now we're really well poised to take advantage of the big bet, the big play, which is to introduce our products, cutting edge epigenetic products that every single person in the world needs and can only get from you, combined with a business opportunity that is cutting edge in its own right and has already provided many people on this call with monthly checks that are more than maybe they thought that they'd ever get, and has whetted their appetite to even get larger checks down the road. And then as we combine that with omni-channel baby steps that we're just starting, and we'll talk more about that. Actually, in Mexico City, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things, the projects and the initiatives that we're just barely starting out. There, you'll not only, as you join the company, as you increase your business, as you're able to, from the rank of A6 and above, start to share in the revenues made in other countries, you'll also start to share in the revenues made in other channels as we fulfill our goal of meeting people where we find them, realizing not everyone wants to be a distributor, not everyone wants to be a customer of a distributor, but everyone, once they understand the importance of the products, either should or will want to take the product. So we want to get it to them in any way possible. Now, when you start into business, sometimes like your family, when you take a job or you start a business, you don't really choose who your family members are. And if you're lucky, you have great family members. And if they're lucky, they have a great family member in you. Sometimes that's not the way it works, but on either side. And sometimes too often when we accept a job, we have to just, try and get along with our coworkers and hope that they're good people and hope that we fit in. Well, as you start a company, you have a little bit more choice. You might say, well, if I start a company, I want to start with my friends. Well, you certainly want to be friendly, but sometimes if you start out with friends, it's hard to hold each other accountable because you don't want to hurt that friendship. You don't want to hurt feelings. But I can tell you that with the friends that I started this company with, like Ryan Thompson and Angie Hawthorne and Stu, who's on the call tonight, and others, we became friends actually by coming together in a company and really going through the fires of a lot of adversity, starting doing something that no one thought was possible, kind of like Jeff Bezos and Amazon. We joined a company that was trying to sell its product, very good product, through retail, and they were failing miserably. And I suggested that we take it out of retail and into network marketing. And I was called stupid. I was called naive. I was called desperate. I was called probably lots of other things that I can't say on this call tonight. But nevertheless, it didn't bother me because I had the conviction and the experience of successfully taking channels out of one unsuccessful channel and putting them into another successful channel. It wasn't the first time I'd done it. And it wasn't the first time I'd been able to align myself with people who are really smart and really experienced, much smarter, much more experienced in their areas than I am. And that really characterizes Ryan and Angie, for example. They have tremendous experience in this channel. And they have taught me a lot. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to have partners like them. I'm not sure everyone knows about this, but Stu, behind that happy-go-lucky Hawaiian exterior beats the heart of a real businessman. And how I got to know him was that at this previous company, when we were ready to go into Japan, yes, I speak Japanese, but I didn't have any experience in taking a company to Japan and starting in network marketing in Japan, even though Japan has a very strong reputation for doing well with network marketing companies. And so enter Stu Carvalho, who had created a company that assisted other companies in opening up Japan. And they basically provided a turnkey solution where they would provide the support in getting registration, they would provide support in doing the translations and customer service and dealing with customs and dealing with shipping and all these type of things, paying commissions, everything that you needed to have done. they would do. In fact, it worked so well that we said, you know what, why don't you let us buy you and you come to work for us? And Stu may or may not have that, now 10 years later, may or may not think that was a good idea. but he is a very accomplished individual. And you might not know this either, an owner of a Hawaiian restaurant in Tokyo. So the next time you're in Tokyo and you'd like to get some good Hawaiian food, make sure you go to Stu's restaurant. I think it's often been said that you're judged by the company that you keep. So I think it's important to know who are some of the people that are in this company that you've chosen to become part of. I've talked with you a little bit about myself and Ryan and Angie and some of the previous experiences that we've had with other companies. But I think what's actually even more impressive are the members of our advisory board who have chosen to align themselves with us. Some of you, if you were fortunate enough to have taken the time to be in the active school on Saturday, you're able to hear from Dr. Joe Maroon and Jeff Boast, who's a professor and also his assistant, and listen to them talk about our products. Dr. Maroon is a world-renowned neurosurgeon, and he did not join us because we were paying him hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. We're already paying him anything, but he just felt it was so important for the world to find out about these products. And that's why he has aligned himself with us. Admiral Matt Winter, the same thing. As a sitting admiral of the United States Navy, when he first was introduced to us, we had to be vetted by the Navy. They had to look at our products. They had to look at what kind of company we are. They had to look at our shareholder base. They had to look at all of us and our backgrounds before they would allow an admiral, one of their most senior leaders, and a person who had, especially in Admiral Winter's case, who had some really high-level responsibilities. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't getting into something that was going to make not only him, but the Navy look bad. And so I'm glad to know that I'm glad we passed the Navy's test, but more importantly, I'm glad we passed Admiral Winter's test. He's pretty tough in what he demands of companies and individuals also. And he helps make sure that we're looking at the right things. Dr. Brett Earl, some of you have heard from him. You'll hear from him in the future. Board certified physician, 18 years of experience in emergency room medicine before he himself had some real health issues that Western medicine just wasn't providing him answers for. And so he started his journey of saying, what else is there out there? And now he started his own clinic. He not just started, he's been successful and is well known here in Utah and the Western United States, called Denali Medical, in which he is just simply a foundational medicine expert and is helping people overcome problems that they haven't been able to deal with before and just been desperate for relief. And he helps them. And guess what? He utilizes our products in his practice actively and frequently tells me stories about those patients of his while maintaining patient confidentiality, who are getting great results. Sinead Irwin the same way. She left a very successful practice as an investment banker, saying, I've got to deal with my own health. I've got to take care of myself. Went on and got advanced degrees in health as a health practitioner and as an alternative medicine provider, and she does the same thing, has a very active practice here in the Salt Lake City area. And some of you have heard her. In fact, I think she just spoke last month at our medical advisory board meeting, which is remind me, Stu, the fourth Tuesday of every month, I believe. And so look forward to one of these members speaking this month as well. Dr. Hernandez is a world-renowned expert in oxidative stress, which is one of the main things that genomics, one of the main benefits that genomics provides in reducing oxidative stress, as well as a NRF2 activation. He was a longtime colleague of Dr. Joe McCord, who formulated genomics and is a tremendous addition to our board. Dr. Rish Patel is a pain management specialist in New York City. And despite the fact that he comes from an Indian background, yes, he knew about curcumin, and he knew that every Indian mother, whenever you had a sore throat, would say, go drink some curcumin tea. He knew about that, but he hadn't really spent the time studying the research. And once he did, he said, David, OptiMend is an unbelievable product. And so he recommends that to his patients who are seeking relief. Now, OptiMend will never take place, will never address every single condition for which pain is an issue. But what it does do, as Dr. Maroon talked about on Saturday, it very effectively deals with the unknown killer, the low-level inflammation that causes so many disease and health problems. What's always interesting to me and kind of funny is Dr. Rish Patel will talk a lot about our products and how impressed he is. But if you ever ask him about Amora, about our skincare products, then he'll really go crazy. He loves Amora. He loves the way it makes his skin look, and he has a wonderful testimonial about that. Richard Jones is a well-known media executive with one of the largest media companies in the world. If you've ever watched our large global events, we recently had one in July that we zoomed to Mexico and throughout the world. And we did so originating in the studios of the local ABC affiliate where he is a general manager. And I mentioned Jeff Boast earlier. We talk about our products. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. The person who invited you onto this call, the person who introduced you to the company, and by your own experience, you can learn a lot about them. But just remember that when we say they are cutting edge, think about those phrases, cutting edge gene therapy. Did you ever think that you'd have an opportunity to become part of a company and create your own company in which you are providing people cutting edge gene therapy? That's crazy, isn't it? You probably never, you might have thought, well, maybe I should do like some of these people do. They start businesses and they sell, they come up with their own brand of cookies, or they come up with bows for babies' hair, or they do all those, clothing. There's nothing wrong with those kind of at-home businesses. But it's a lot different than cutting-edge gene therapy. And that's what you have your hands on. That's what's become such a powerful, not only health tool in your hands, but a business tool as well. I mentioned OptiMend and the way that it deals with pain. There are hundreds, literally hundreds of curcumin or turmeric products out there. And they're not bad, they're just not as good because the body can't absorb them very well, being such large molecules. That's where the Psylocke and DexKey technology that we utilize, where it really basically kind of shrink wraps because we put each molecule of tetrahydrocurcumin into a molecule of cyclodextrin to wrap it up and make sure it gets through the gut and into the intestine and kidney where it can be metabolized and then released through the DexKey technology. And so the body can use it and send it throughout the body where it needs to be. And that same technology is used in Link. If any of you listened to Dr. Maroon on Saturday, you heard him talk about the fact that he and Jeff Boast in their roles as researchers at the University of Pittsburgh Medical School, in their roles as science advisors and doctors for the Pittsburgh Steelers medical or football team, with the WWE wrestling organization, they know all about the cancer preventative, the brain enhancing, the neurotropic or brain aiding aspects of butyric acid. But just because it tasted and smelled so bad, they wondered if anybody would really be able to get all of the benefits from this product that nature has provided it, but just put it into this really nasty form. And once again, through that Psylocke and DexKey technology, they're able to do it. And we're able to make tremendous advances with people who are dealing with gut issues, with people who are experiencing less brain fog, and people who are really taking their microbiome, the gut-brain connection seriously. I mentioned Amora and the fact that this specialized skincare treatment, is really not a whit behind in technology and science. Those products that we refer to as the trifecta, genomics, Link, and OptiMend. That's because these products contain active ingredients that have been proven and tested and patented in many cases. And actually all of these ingredients are used in other products, really high-end spa type of products that sometimes go for double, triple, even quadruple the price of ours. But there's another key difference other than the price. In each of those cases, they only have one, maybe two of the active ingredients that we have, whereas our products have upwards of 5, 6, 7 active ingredients that all of which are designed to work together to hydrate the skin, reduce fine line wrinkles, not only in number, but in terms of their length and their width and their depth, and to smooth over and normalize skin tones in terms of age spots, rosacea, other things that people deal with on a very daily basis. Now, one thing that sometimes is talked about, and if you are really interested in the skincare aspect of that, don't forget link. The best results that we're hearing from people are those who combine link and making sure that the gut is healthy, because the problems that we see in our skin are really just manifestations, finally, of what's going on the inside. And so, particularly as it relates to gut health. So if you can take care of the gut, then you can not only have the visible health results on the outside of your skin, kind of addressing it beauty from the inside and the outside, but there's other things that you can't see. Every single gene, every single cell of your body being strengthened through these products. That's a pretty important thing. Finally, our newest member of the family, Arrow, we positioned this with, again, tremendous active ingredients that have tremendous benefits. Whether those benefits are increasing the number of mitochondria in your cells so that you burn more energy, first of all, so you have more energy, and then you burn more energy. You're burning more calories, or controlling blood sugar levels, so that those cravings that plague us so much. It's kind of, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but what happens is we will, when our blood sugar levels get low, that's our body says, hey, I need something. And what the body really wants is sugar. Now, you shouldn't give it sugar, but it wants sugar, and it wants carbohydrates. And if you do that and provoke what's called an insulin response, that's going to cause the body to increase blood sugar, which can be a bad thing. If you have too much, that can lead to prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and other issues like that, because you're just pumping so much glucose, so many carbs into your system that the body's now on overload in regards to blood sugar. But you're also storing, they're converting those extra calories, those empty calories that are pretty much devoid of any nutrients, into fat. And that's not what we want. That's the last thing we want. We want to have healthy energy. We want to have healthy calories. And these ingredients help curb our, not curb our enthusiasm like the TV show, curb our blood sugar levels, so that we will always be on an even keel. Have that extra, the B vitamin complex and the other ingredients also provide more nutrients, so that, as far as the brain and the body goes, physiologically, the reason that we eat is to provide nutrients to the body. It's not because of taste, that we like the taste, and it's not because of the smell, but physiologically the reason is so that we can get nutrients, so that the cells can divide and be strong and maintain what they're supposed to be doing. Well, if you can provide the body with proper nutrients, guess what it will do? It'll say, okay, great. I did what I came for. I got the nutrients. I'm not hungry anymore. So it's not just the blood sugar regulation that occurs, but it's this feeling of satiety or feeling full, because you've now provided nutrients to the body that it needs. So all of those things combine to say, man, cool products. We didn't talk much about the business side yet, but I'd like to do that for a minute. If you are really interested in the business, and I guess all of us really are, at the end of the day, if you say, what does McDonald's sell? Do they sell hamburgers? And the answer is no. McDonald's doesn't sell hamburgers. McDonald's Corporation doesn't. Now, the individual franchises on the corners, they sell hamburgers, and that's where they make their money. by selling lots of hamburgers and lots of French fries and lots of things that aren't good for us, as Dr. Murray talked about the other day, and so that we should avoid. But the McDonald's Corporation, what they do is they sell business opportunities. They sell franchises to people, and they're looking for people who, yes, want to sell hamburgers, but also recognize that being in a certain location with a product that, for better or for worse, is in high demand, is something that is attractive to people. Now, we're in the same situation. You don't have to pay a big, expensive franchise fee to get involved. You know, they're more and more expensive. I think, I haven't looked recently. The last time I looked, I think to buy a McDonald's franchise, I think started at least $500,000 to $1 million. That's a lot of money to just get going. And but what is interesting is that if you do happen to buy a McDonald's franchise, what they're going to do is they're going to put you through Hamburger University. That's what they call it, where they say, listen, here's how you run a franchise, and don't try and do this on your own. We know what we're doing. We've developed this over years of experience, and this is what you're going to do. And by the way, it's not voluntary. If they find out that you're trying to operate your McDonald's in a way that's not in accordance with their policies and procedures, guess what? You get a couple of warnings, but after that, you lose your franchise. And now we're not so strict, but we don't have Hamburger University, but we have active schools, and we have the success guides, and we have weekly calls like this, where you can, if you really want to start a business for yourself, but aren't sure how to do it, you'll learn the nuts and bolts of what it really takes to succeed in this industry. And more importantly than just reading about it or hearing some guy like me in a jacket who's trying to sound important, you'll hear about it from people who really are doing it. You'll hear about it from the people on this call who started at zero, said, yes, I want to do this. And a month later had to become A6, had become A7, A8, 5 months later, A12, a year later, 14 months later, A16. The stories and the experiences showing that this really works are out there. And you're going to be in it with someone else every step of the way. Now, I heard something that was pretty interesting the other day. Again, I'll keep referring to this active school. And if you haven't seen it, it's posted. You can go and see it. I'm not sure if it's in our back office yet. It probably is, but it is recorded. And if you'd like to see it and don't know where to find it, look on the USA on our Facebook page for Actives USA, and I think you'll find it there also. But one of our recent A12s, Trish I almost called her somebody else, Trish Neuenswander. I know it's Trish Neuenswander, but it's another really easy name to say, Trish Albrechtsen. Trish Albrechtsen and her husband Eric recently became A12s. They have a ton of now successful experience here at Actives, but they also have tremendous successful experience rising to the tops of previous companies that I've been at and others. And one of the things that she said, I don't know if those of you that were on the call remember this. She said one of the things that that people say in regards to network marketing is that it didn't work for them. And when she said that, I thought, you know what? What's interesting is that rather than thinking that network marketing didn't work for them, maybe they didn't really work for it. Because at the end of the day, like anything else out there, it takes a lot of work. Now, and it's not easy, but I think that what you'll find is that like anything else, yes, the idea of sharing something, feeling more comfortable with talking about a new story, explaining the basics of the product, the basics of the compensation plan, like anything else, whether you're learning a new golf swing, whether you're learning how to play the piano, whether you're learning a new language, there's lots of mistakes made along the way. But the more that you try, the more that you persist, the easier it gets. Not because the nature of the task has changed, but just your ability to do it has increased. And any person on this call tonight, I can look around and look at all of you that are on here tonight, and I can say, yeah, I remember when Diane Young was not feeling as comfortable with her presentations. I remember, and I've talked about Susanna a little bit. I remember when Susanna was not feeling very comfortable giving a presentation in Spanish, let alone in English, and she does great in both. And I remember when Trish Albertson, who, if you guys see her now, you think of her as being this poised, very professional, very articulate person. And I'm not saying that she wasn't those things before. I'm just saying she's come a long way, baby, from the first time that I saw her on stage. And the same thing with Eric and everybody else, because all of those things wasn't easy. It's just been worth it. So going back to actives, who are we? Well, in the middle there, you'll see some emoji stickers, right? And I have a granddaughter, Tess. She's the one on the right in the car seat and the boots and the glasses. Now, when my daughter, when she saw these emojis on her phone, excitedly yelled, "Papa, Papa," because apparently she thinks that those guys all look like me. Now, I don't feel like I've got a yellow head, but I do have a pretty round head, and I do strike a lot of those poses sometimes. But there is more to me than that. And there's more to you than that as well. What's interesting is, though, that we are what people perceive us to be. And whether that's a bald-headed guy with lots of gesticulations and facial expressions, in my case, that my granddaughter apparently thinks, or the real you, like in this case, that's my wife and I enjoying the fall colors here in Utah. She said, "I love that color orange." I said, "That's an Actives orange tree." So we took a picture right in front of that just because it's Actives orange. And even the world, even nature's combining for active to be successful, right? Well, that might be stretching it a little bit. But, at the end of the day, when we leave this earth, all we will really be known for is the legacy that we've left, in terms of our family, the people whose lives that we've touched, people whose lives that we've made better. And so hopefully what we started out with, that will make you better, really resonates. And that will become something that all of you, along with all of us, really take seriously, that we can make things better. For me, it's a matter of my children and grandchildren, with my daughter and her husband. And then I probably shouldn't, some of you have never seen, I'm not sure, on our first meeting, you should see me without a shirt on. Sorry about that, but that's my boys. And we're at the beach, and I have grown kids now and 4 grandkids. And, we don't have all the money in the world. We're not the richest people in the world. I don't have all the physical attributes that I would love to have in the world. But what I do have, okay, is a happy family, great kids, great grandkids, and great friends that we've started out and made a great company with. Some of the exciting events so far that we've seen have been Christina Godoy becoming A16 and getting, in addition to her, the status and the commissions that come, but getting her $100,000 rank advancement check. That's a pretty big check, literally and figuratively. Marco DeMaro, a very well-known singer, Mama Coco, Rajesh Drabal, a triple amputee, people in Japan, or again, my granddaughter dressed up as Nacho Libre for Halloween. You never know who you're going to become part of when you join Actives, but I can tell you this, that you're only a degree or two separated from some of the most exciting people, exciting places, and people around the world who really are going to be connected to you, and you're going to be connected to them. So welcome to Actives. We're glad to have you with us. It's an exciting place. There's people that are changing lives each and every day. And we'll take a few more minutes. We've got a little bit of time. If there's some questions you'd like to ask, we can go ahead and do that now.
If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourselves, and then David will be more than happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Okay.
My name is Nan Gorman, and I just signed up on the 22nd of September. And I was wondering about if I come up with some technical problems, is there a tech person I can call, or do I call my upline for technical help?
Well, in terms of technical help, are you talking about like using the app or?
Yes, using the app. When there was times where I would go forward and then I would get an air button, or a time I would, click forward and then it tells me which shipping thing I wanted. And I wanted to get past that.
Okay. Well, I will say that for most things, I will say yes. One of the first calls is to your upline. And that's an easy one because they'd probably love to talk to you anyway. And if they don't know it, they'll quickly tell you they don't know it. And then simply call customer service, and they'll either handle it for you or get you on with Angie Hawthorne or someone who can help you resolve that issue. So yes and yes. Either one of those options will work out for you.
Okay, I've got several questions, but I'll let other people go.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
What are the youngest children that take the arrow,
Take Arrow.
that drink it?
Yeah, I'm not positive about that. I can't. I will say this. This is where we began this whole discussion tonight with warning you that I'm a lawyer by training, and so that in regards to all of our products, we say that under the age of 18, do so. Take them in, at the suggestion or after consulting a physician. Now, we say that primarily for legal reasons, not scientific reasons, because we know that in all of these cases, people under 18 can take them. And the other thing is, it's not really very good advice. It might be good legal advice, but in many cases, doctors don't know anything about these ingredients. So it's not really good advice to give to people. But that said, and that disclaimer out of the way, certainly the biggest concern I think that anyone would have in regards to children and Arrow would be the fact it does contain caffeine. Now it contains less caffeine than a child would get, and a better type of caffeine in guarana than they would get in a Coca-Cola. But if a parent doesn't want, so I would say, I guess I would say that if a parent is comfortable with a child drinking Coca-Cola, they would be comfortable with them taking Arrow. But those are the main considerations. The other ingredients are, very innocuous and wouldn't have any type of, I don't think, present any issue. But I think that the caffeine sensitivity would probably be the main thing to think about.
Well, a lot of parents let their kids have Coca-Cola and all kinds of junk.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, but I think like with other things, if they wanted to try them out, because maybe they wanted, if they're thinking about it in terms of a weight loss, because unfortunately childhood obesity is a huge, I mean, no pun intended, a huge issue, okay? And if that was part of the thing, I think I'd probably start them off with, a small amount, maybe half or a quarter of an amount, and just for tolerance and see how they do.
I did see one video with a child that they said did better.
Okay,
That took it inactives.
good. I haven't seen that myself. I'll have to look for it. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Anyone else?
I have another question.
Okay.
Because you've been in network marketing for a long time and now in actives, do people ever post ads in the paper saying, come to our free health and wellness clinic? Especially for, I live in Mexico, expats with no health insurance, or post ads in the paper about if they're looking for a business opportunity. Do you ever do that?
I never have. I've seen those things in newspapers before. I've always wondered how many people respond to that type of thing. I would say that, so the good news is we'll never tell people how to do their business. But what we will do now is refer them to people who have experienced success. Because usually when people come to me and say things like, well, what do you think about going to a trade show? What do you think about buying a list of names? What do you think about putting an ad in the newspaper? My usual response is, well, that might work, but what I do know works for sure is what we put out in the success guide and what your upline will advise you to do. Those things I feel much more strongly about. But the short answer to your question is, I don't know of anyone who's done that either successfully or unsuccessfully. I'll open that up to anybody else. Stu, I don't know if you know or anything like that, but I know what you're talking about, but I don't know anybody who's done it.
My advice would be check every country has their regulations regarding the way you can advertise and recruit people in network marketing. So I can only speak, for Asian countries. For Japan, in Japan, if you post something on Facebook, for example, saying, hey, come to our actives meetings, we're going to be talking about Optimins, supplement, change your life. A cold call like that is not allowed in Japan. And so using social media to recruit people isn't allowed. And so I just would check, what Mexico's rules are, what the regulations are, what wording is used, whether you have to say that it's free, or if you're invited, or if there's a cost to it. So I just would double check, especially with your upline and somebody who knows that market.
Yeah. Hey, Nan, I think we've spoken before, but I don't remember whose group you're in.
I'm in Claudia Valdez's group.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Claudia's great, and she'll probably give you some good advice on that as well.
Okay, perfect.
Sure.
Hi. Hi, I have a comment.
Sure. I know.
Hi, I'm Noemi Vinale. I live in the border of Mexico and the United States, which is the state of Chihuahua and the state of Texas. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just want to thank Susie Gutierrez for inviting me. It's been a great month, and I'm just excited about the change in my mindset. I am a teacher. I've been in teaching for the past 30 years. I have my own business, my own school, and it was I had my resistance about saying, oh, own your own business, own your own business. And I would say, I have my own business. I know what it is to be an owner. And I'm so happy I opened up my mind, this mindset of a non-traditional business. And yeah, I mean, for the past, I'm 55. So for the past, I don't know how many years, since I'm 18, my investment has been in health and education. Those two things have been in my life, health and education, with myself and in my family. And I'm just extremely happy to have these two things, health and education. And then the money will come. I know it will.
That's great.
So,
thank you.
Thank you, David Brown and Ryan, and gosh, I can't pronounce your name. Stuart, and everybody that does what they have to do for us to be here and get a great product and change our mindset. I'm just very grateful on that, on the change of my mindset about a new business.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you for that. We're glad to have you. You have a great partner in Susie, and we're glad to have you with us. And we'll look forward to some great things happening down there on the border. So that's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, us too. My husband is here also as well. I don't know if you want to say something, because today you motivated me a lot. I don't know if you do. Here, Hector.
Hey, oh, Hector. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see in there. He's a lucky man. Good job, Hector. You married over your head, just like I did. Good job. So, all right.
Thank you very much. God bless.
All right. Well, we have time for a couple more. We're about ready to wrap up. Anybody else have some things they'd like to bring up while we're all together? All right, Stu. Well, back to you. And thanks everyone for your participation tonight. It's been great to see you. We're glad, whether you're new or not so new, excuse me, new or not so new, we're glad to have you here at Actives, and buckle up, because you're in for an exciting ride. Thanks for joining us tonight. Go ahead, Stu.
Thank you, David. I don't know about you guys, but I will refer to my earlier statement when we opened the call. And I wasn't joking when I said, if you want to quit, you can quit now. But I promise you, after you hear David present, you would not want to quit. And I'm pretty sure that all of us are in agreement. Not only is a company that David built here at Actives is something that's special, but the people that makes up this company, starting with David and the executives, Ryan Thompson, Angie, and all of you, Susanna, inviting two people on this call. We cannot do it without you. So not only we have a good company, we have great people. And if you want to be a part of something great, like David pointed out, and this is going to be the trivia question for our active reward points. If you want to be part of a company, well, name one of the two companies that David mentioned in the beginning of his comments. He mentioned two companies that people thought they were crazy for starting up. The first three people, if you tell us which two companies he referred to other than LifeVantage, he referred to two other companies that people, yes, Amazon and Netflix. There you go. Susanna, Angela, and Jerry, you are our first three. So we'll make sure that you get it. 60 reward points for listening, but also for paying attention, because this is what Active is going to be. And at the head of the company, I don't know how many network marketing CEOs get on a weekly and monthly call that not only talk about the company itself, but go into detail and open the floor for you as distributors, new distributors, to ask questions, anything that you want to. And that's the kind of connection that you will have for a lifetime with David and the rest of the executives here at Actives. Our uplines, our leaders, our A16s, Martine, Christina, they're open as well. They join us on our corporate call. They're supportive. And so you will be supported as a newcomer into our company. And we enjoy and we love having you here. Love seeing your faces. Love seeing your names. And so buckle in for a ride. And Aaron in the comments, saying David's going to build his own rocket ship and his own company. If you want to, go into space and see things you haven't seen before, you're in the right place, because that's what Actives is going to do. It'll allow you to do things that you have never done before, and you'll be in great health doing it. So thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope you have the rest of a good Tuesday night. Don't forget to join us for our Wednesday corporate call at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. West Coast time.
We lost you, Stu.
And additional updates for everyone. Until then, you guys lost
You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
me. Well, join in for tomorrow on our active corporate call, and we will see everyone then. You guys have a great night.
Good night. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
good night. It's great.
See you later.
Bye.
Good night. Thanks.
Thank you
Bye.
very